Chinese history.
Ling takes power. 247 million perish.
That's it.
European history be like.
Mary's half-sister. Clearly Polish. The Spanish name is all just one person, I think.
Establishing the Grand Duchy of Neue Aushtin.
Yes, and that's just a microcosm all taking place inside of like 100 yards. I just times that by 1,000 over the entire continent. Who would win? A capable military force that managed to invade several countries, or an army who lost to Finnish farmers? And it wasn't even like this was a huge gap in time either. The Soviet Union took a huge L in 1940, and then 5 years later took out the massive Third Reich. Allied paratrooper equipment be like, so we get all this stuff as soon as we land? Sweet! Where do they even fit all this stuff at? Versus German paratrooper equipment be like, literally landing with practically nothing. Time to scavenge in the tilted towers. I haven't met my soulmate yet, but I like to think that's just because they're busy doing something really important. Meanwhile, me being a giant Romaboo in CK3. Was this a personal attack or something? Sorry ladies, I don't have time for you. I'm too busy fixing medieval European borders. You're up in 1347. Now North Italy is our trade center. Not even a blink later, I am a rat. Wait, was this supposed to be a Black Plague joke? You did not. When East Asian merchants sailed from Crimea to Genoa, spreading the Black Death in Europe. Oh yeah. Girl cosplay. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought you were gonna do. Let's just move on. When I purposely spread misinformation about my neighbors doing witchcraft so I can take their farmland. They were executed in the public square. Now I have all this free real estate. When she looks through your phone, but all she can find is Babel course ancient Egyptian firefighting techniques in Egypt in the 1st and 2nd century BC. What date did the Library of Alexandria burn down? How to build a time machine. Oh, that's what you're trying to do here. We have to save all that knowledge we lost in the fire. Looks like this man's about to buy a DeLorean. Americans watching this scene versus Czechs watching this scene. I actually knew this beforehand. This was a really interesting detail in Saving Private Ryan. So these people are actually speaking Czech, and obviously they didn't make it. They're saying, please don't shoot me, I am not German, I am Czech. So they were more than likely forced to join the army. Steven Spielberg saying no to making a film that portrays the no-no-Germans as menacing and foreboding. Steven Spielberg saying yes to making them look like idiots who can't go 5 minutes without their ability to do things right going up in flames. Now we were just talking about Saving Private Ryan, but this meme is not referring to Saving Private Ryan. I really love the Indiana Jones films too. How many movies has he made with no-no-Germans in it? There's at least 3 or 4 I can think off the top of my head. Don't build your economy on constant expansion through warfare. It just doesn't work long term. You inevitably run out of ability to expand. It's not soft people. You either overextend and lose control of what you have, or run out of territory to expand into and fracture within. Stop taking advice from a meme and making it a core belief in your life. Is this referring to hard times create hard men? This meme is telling us to stop taking advice from memes, but should we listen to it? Wait a minute, is that Jesus? Yeah, he comes in every Thursday and orders soup. Why is Jesus frequenting a Japanese restaurant? Because he loves miso. He loves miso. He loves miso. Ha. This reminded me of the guy that went to his grandparents' house and replaced all the pictures of Jesus with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is this not him right here? Wait a second, maybe it's not him. When Christ is mad, the no-no-Germans are invoking his name to justify horrible things, but at least they didn't ruin the cross for everyone like they did the swastika. And I've been seeing this anime everywhere. I gotta watch this. And they were roommates. Austria, no! How could you ally with the Ottomans? They are the enemies of Europe. France out here just liking their hats, and that is diplomacy 101. Hey, I like what you're wearing on your head. Wanna be friends? I mean, hasn't France been trolling Austria about onions for hundreds of years? Like, they were obviously gonna do this. Told to buy a hat like this, I would want one. China, 2,500 years ago. Hey, what should we put in this boiling water? An absolute freaking genius, leaves. Oh wow, I literally almost didn't even read this part because I didn't get it. Did he ever come back and answer the question? Sad face. He just leaves and refuses to elaborate further. Monks when they have to copy another 200 Bibles and letters after they got destroyed by bad weather. But it is 1440 and the printing press has just been invented. Can you even imagine the amount of writing they must have had to do back in the day? My hand is cramping just thinking about it. I don't even think I've written more than 10 words on a single piece of paper in the last 5 years. During halftime in World War II, we have the Allied powers and the Axis power. Oh, Italy. Yeah, Italy switched. They switched there a little bit. I know so many people get triggered by the Italy switching side meme, and I know it's kind of played out here, but this is a perfect format. Isn't it kind of good? Like, you don't want to be on this team. Spartans win newborn babies, can't do 350 push-ups, run 3 miles without rest, and fend off 20 full-grown men with their bare hands. This is giving me weird implications that they were, like, eating them. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Don't put anything past the Spartans. Northern Schleswig finding out you don't have to pay war reparations if you're not a part of Germany. Off with the pointy hat and in with that drip. I have now become Danish. 75% of this county voted to reunify with Denmark instead of remain with Germany back in 1920. Little did they know they were going to be a part of Germany again one day, like 20 years later. It's just a song for the First Polish Legion. You don't need to go too hard. Meanwhile, this Polish composer, I think he's a Polish composer. Talk about a certified hood classic. I don't think I've ever actually heard this before. Oh man, yeah, this does slap. It's 1718, and a Swedish and Finnish man look at this guy, who doesn't look like he made it. Don't be sad because we lost. At least we still have each other. I could never ask for a better soulmate. Let's go home, honey. I want you to wear the maid outfit tonight. Ooh woo. I can't keep saying ooh woo. I need to stop. Meanwhile, Estonia looking off in the distance. Give money to Tsar, says Russia. I wish that were me, thinks Estonia. Basically, Estonia missed being a part of the Swedish Empire. They were forced to join Russia. This was the Swedes at their height. As you can see, they had Finland and Estonia, but Russia was going to take a lot of this stuff, and Finland was going to be able to stay with Sweden for a little bit longer. I am Poseidon, god of the sea. Row, man! Row, man! Okay, I am Neptune, god of the sea. More puns. Roman. Why do I feel like the name Neptune became so much more iconic? Oh, we named a whole planet after it, but Poseidon is literally the same exact thing. He was here first. Guys, I have bad news. Istanbul is still called Istanbul. Wait, since minions serve villains, are you referring to Byzantium as a villain? Gets invaded by Italian peasants. You despise them and poop on them. Somehow they still love you. Somehow they base their architecture and lifestyle on you. Somehow Rome starts to look like Athens and Romans claim Greek origins. Somehow it became the heart of the Eastern Empire. Somehow make the empire last 1,000 years longer. Basically, Greek cultures heavily influenced Roman culture after the Second Punic War. Gigachatius based, yeah, that. The Roman Empire, the Byzantium Empire, the Holy Roman Empire, and then finally whatever Mussolini was trying to do. Oh, the live action Last Airbender. Why did you remind me of this? I still haven't gotten over it. Economy and money in general, literally leaving behind all of North Korea. Oh, and yeah, South Korea appears to be driving the whole thing. Wait, so becoming a hermit kingdom and doing terrible things to your population is bad? The Japanese, when they see Indian POWs. This is like the perfect gif you could have used. They straight up go Hannibal Lecter mode. I think the Japanese were eating a bunch of people, weren't they? Specifically, I guess, Indians, though. France, oofing their monarch in public execution. Russia, oofing the monarch in a private location so it doesn't look bad. Then there's China, who keeps the monarch alive, seizes all his wealth and property, and gives him an ordinary job. I was literally just talking about this last week. It is the strangest thing to me that they kept their last emperor alive. Like, usually if you look up any of the final emperors of an empire, they usually have just the most gruesome ending. Like, consistently, it always just doesn't go well. Except for this dude, he was just chilling. I guess I am forgetting certain monarchs. Elizabeth. Sometimes it can go well, but it sometimes can also go really bad. Comparing Greece with Turkey. First, Greece, very nice history, religious, European, funny name, big empire, Cyprus. For Turkey, very nice history, religious, European, funny name, big empire, Cyprus. Looks like these two should be saying to each other, it looks like you and I are not so different. Maybe that's why they're fighting all the time. They're just so alike. It's like a sibling rivalry. In red, the countries that lost half a freaking continent to a random asthmatic guy riding a mule. Basically, Jose de San Martin. He liberated Argentina and Peru on a mule. I thought we were talking about Bolivar, but I guess not. This guy did end up having a closed-door meeting with Simon Bolivar. We have no idea what they discussed. Imagine the Western Hemisphere with a completely united Latin America. Europeans be like, why is the Middle East so chaotic? My brother in Christ, you made the borders. Oh, there's an addition to this one. Is this Europeans? Touché. I'm not exactly sure how Belgium was included, but yeah, it was basically just Britain and France, wasn't it? Most of the continent had nothing to do with that. Camels in the Middle East, basically just chilling. Meanwhile, camels in Australia, numbering over 1 million and forming feral herds, destroying the ecosystem. So maybe it's not the animals originating from Australia, but the landmass itself that causes the animals to go psycho. You see what I'm saying? You could take like the most peaceful animal apparently and put it on that continent, and clearly they just start losing it. Someone's got to take some capybaras out there there immediately just to see what happens. Napoleon declaring he'd make Tsar Alexander I of Russia his mistress if Alexander was a woman. Meanwhile, there's his wife just kind of awkwardly sitting there. Yeah, I remember Oversimplified taught me about this. Sometimes you just gotta stand aside and let it happen. Okay, I'm gonna fight the Mamluk Sultanate. Damn, the Mamluk Sultanate got hands. Mamluks are a pretty underrated empire. Oh, this is saying this might have been the reason why Mongolia was stopped in northern Africa. And big thanks to Twick and Hamster, the Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth, Argentinian Grandpa, Aushtin, Powersh, Fazha. $20 is a lot, Drew. aPhatNarwhal, Barnsky W, Isaac, I guess, Bringbackpolandball, Cowboys 83, Evan Price, istoledrewspetdog, Monday, ortin 5610, Philipp RF, Robert E, RyeThePie, the Mexican 760. And why am I doing this?